There's ducks in front of my house right now. There's 2 ducks, a male duck and a female duck. I am anticipating some duck-related shenanigans in my future if I try to leave the house. I'm worried that they are now making a nest on my front lawn. Because we got like some landscaping, like along the driveway, and it's a place where a duck could theoretically like make a nest. And if that ends up being the case, I'm imagining some difficulties getting outside of the front of my house in the future. So,
are you saying you have like water features or
no? Just like I've got there's flowers and like there's like a small like tree thing, like a small like evergreen tree in front of my house, like enough coverage that like a duck could theoretically like decide that maybe it wants to like make a nest in that little like landscaping area. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
got to get a fox involved.
Oh God. Lauren can never listen to this podcast now. Like, fly down to Charlotte.
I mean, nature will take it. It's not a great place to have a nest. So,
Yeah.
They'll get what's coming to them.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. But like, yeah, I looked out this morning. I'm like, okay, that's a male duck and that's a female duck sitting in the landscaping, and like he looks like he's standing guard. I'm just like, okay, cool.
Yeah, there's definitely some eggs there.
Aggressive ass duck shenanigans in the near future. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you all posted. Oh man, so what have you been playing recently?
It's weird because I started to do the new Path Exile League, and I played it for a week, and I kind of was just like, okay, yeah, I'm happy with what I've achieved. I hit rank 1 with the skill I was using for the first week, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'm good. And
You're done with.
I've just been in like a post Path of Exile state. It's like I haven't actually played any video games since then.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But I watched The Great on Hulu.
The Great.
It's weird. It's like a semi-historical show about Catherine the Great, but it's done in the style of like Parks and Rec almost, or like, one of those like modern sitcoms, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very strange. It was fun. I like those kind of like period pieces, and seeing one done as a comedy was interesting.
I think now that you say that, I feel like I've seen like advertisements or like something.
She's in like a pink dress.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar.
It's pretty striking. Yeah, you'd remember. And I read a bunch of. Oh, I read César.
What?
It's a manga about Caesar Borgia.
Okay.
Wait, is that right? No, not Borgia. Oh shit. Oh man, I'm so embarrassed. No, not he's not Borgia. There's a TV show about the Borgia that I'm also watching. But no, it's not. Oh no, Borgia. No, I am right. Okay, good. It's the Medicis who are the other one. Yeah. About Caesar Borgia.
Okay.
And it's just like it's just like a purely historical like account essentially, which is interesting.
So it's just a historical account, but in manga form.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Because there's another one I read called Histoire, which is about one of the advisors to Alexander the Great, which is also done in that style, where it's just like, yeah, this is just like we're kind of trying to tell the history as accurately as possible, even though like obviously a lot of it's dramatized or made up.
Yeah,
because obviously, but interesting stuff. That's pretty much all I've been doing is just reading and watching like weird period pieces.
Hey, fair enough. I guess speaking of that, we watched what was it? It was Nobunaga Concerto on Crunchyroll. It's like I've heard of you've heard of? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, but remind me though, because I don't remember.
Yeah, it's basically like it's. I mean, I guess it's. Is it an? Would that be considered an isekai? I don't know if it would be considered an isekai. It's basically like dude gets transported back to.
Yes, that is isekai. Yeah.
That would because isekai is a parallel world though. I don't know if it counts if you go back in time.
This is like traditional isekai. Like before it was called isekai. There was shit like Inuyasha, which like it's the same idea, but it's not like it hasn't been genreized or
fair enough.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now it's like it's a a strict rule set almost, and it's like that's what happens. Japan does that.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get hit by a bus before he went there, so
like yeah. Bus coon.
Yes.
Yeah, just like it's so bad. It's so bad.
So
yeah, that's
and
cool.
actually I'll get to that. I've been watching. I will just say, we seem to like always start these where I talk. I mean, like, I just finished editing one of the podcasts where we talked for like 20 minutes on anime. I think I've now reached the point where Lauren and I have watched so much anime that like I can't recap it all because we've just been plowing through like so many shows.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, so like, okay, let me finish my Nobunaga Concerto thought
please.
before I go into that. But so Nobunaga, so he goes back in time and like by chance basically like runs into Nobunaga like immediately. And they happen to look very similar. And Nobunaga's like, okay, well, I'm peacing out because I don't feel like doing this. And so he just becomes Nobunaga and does Nobunaga things for whatever. And like, so apparently it's only one season and I don't think they're going to make any more. I think that the whole point of it was to kind of market the live action version of it, which I don't really have any interest in watching. But just, know going into it that like, if you decide to watch it, like it's not going to end in any kind of a like satisfying place. It's going to end very much in the middle of things. But it was interesting while I watched it. I mean, it's like it's comedic because it's like obviously it's some high school kid is Nobunaga. But yeah, very very. So speaking of period pieces, very 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 interesting.
Yeah, there's a Nobunaga no Chef manga with a guy who gets sent back in time and has to become like the personal chef of Oda Nobunaga.
Oh, that's hilarious.
There's actually a lot of, I mean, I guess they really are interested in that character over there. He's a historical figure, obviously, but
well, yeah, I mean, Nobunaga and what is it, Ieyasu? Those are like the two guys.
Yeah.
That's like
Hideki Ieyasu, I think, right?
Yeah,
Hideki.
Tokugawa Ieyasu.
Tokugawa, yeah. Ieyasu. Yeah, Tokugawa, not Hideki.
Yeah. I only because I just watched.
No, yeah, it's been a long. I used to know because of fucking like the Samurai Warriors.
Well, see, that's the thing too, right? Is like if anybody knows like two Japanese historical figures, I feel like those are the two guys. Like like that picture of like the guy sitting down on a mat with like the really big flowing kimono and he's got the top knot. Like you've probably seen that painting. Like
yeah, I'm literally looking at it right now. Actually.
Yeah, and like you've seen it. Like if you've seen a painting of like a Japanese like shogun dude, you've seen the Ieyasu painting. So like you know what I'm. If you know anything, like even the tiniest bit about Japanese history, which I barely do, I think most of the Japanese history I know is from the Bill Wirtz video. So like, but you've seen that picture. Yeah, you've seen that history of Japan. But so speaking of watching a bunch of anime, so because Lauren and I got that Crunchyroll subscription, like we had an anime podcast, what I think 4 or 5 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. Maybe it was really, I mean, shit, man, we've been doing this for a while now. Like it's been well over a year since we started this, So we did that one a while ago, and at that point, I'd had what I would say is fairly minimal exposure. And like the things that I thought of were like all of the stuff from the 90s, like that's all the shit that I had watched from anime. And like I'd watched like maybe like a couple of more modern animes, but like it was the stuff that came on Toonami. Like that's most of what I knew of anime. And then I'd watched a couple other things, but like now I've watched a lot. Like I could say that I've watched enough that I can't remember all the things that I've watched anymore. And like, it's like I guess this occurred to me. This is the thing that occurred to me about anime is I feel like when I think about the stuff that I watch that comes out of Japan, I think that like I guess anime is just taken a lot more seriously. Like animation in general is I think taken a lot more seriously in Japan than it is a lot of other places. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of. It's
still
still like a young person thing though. Like you're not going to find a lot of like middle-aged and elderly people who are like they've maybe seen like one like like it is, I think you're right, it is slightly more seriously taken, but like that effect is magnified though a little bit when you're looking in like from the outside.
Okay, and maybe that is part of the thing. Is maybe it's just like what makes it to the West.
Yeah, like I was gonna say about Toonami and like Adult Swim too is like those are '90s animes, but they're also handpicked like by Western people '90s animes, right? Like, and there's a lot of, I mean, yeah, like there is a lot of breadth and depth for sure.
Because I was noticing, and I mean, I guess let me ask you this, right? And I'm not talking what you saw most recently. I'm talking like in chronological time. Like, what is the newest Japanese live action movie that you've watched?
Probably, I think, God, probably Matsumoto's like giant man monster satire film. Which when was that released? Big Man Japan, 2007.
Oh, okay, so more recently than me.
Yeah, because I'm sure I've seen something more recent than that, but not.
The most recent thing that I can think of that wasn't an animation was Battle Royale.
Have you seen Ichi the Killer?
Oh, okay. Then it's Ichi the Killer. Okay.
Yeah, 2001. Yeah.
Then it's Ichi the Killer. Okay, I forgot about Ichi the Killer.
Yeah, early 2000s.
You know what? I actually thought Ichi the Killer. I don't know why, but I thought Ichi the Killer was Korean. But I guess it wasn't.
No, it's Mike, and he's definitely Japanese.
Mike. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I guess maybe Korean cinema must like have some like
Korean cinema's been hitting it out of the park recently.
Well,
you've probably seen a lot of.
That's the thing is like because that's what I was noticing. It was like because I mean from like Japan is a very old film tradition, but it seems like and again this is I'm sure colored by the fact that these are these things that like make it to the West, but like a lot of the like more recent Japanese cinema that I've watched. I mean, like the Miyazaki films, like, Your Name, like it's all animated, it's amazing, but it's all animated, which maybe it's just because that's what the West wants to consume. And so that's what makes it over here. But it's interesting that like such a large portion of the Japanese cinema that makes it over here is animated. And it's not just like, it's not like cartoons, like it's it's like very very serious like animation. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, no, Shin Godzilla.
I haven't watched Shin Godzilla. I know what you're. I mean, yeah, like
Godzilla films.
Yeah, and probably horror films as well. I know the
Japanese
horror films
for sure. It's like they're like they're shitty live action anime movies, and they're like bad romance films. Don't make it over here. Mm-hmm. In the same way that like our shitty movies don't make it over there.
Mm-hmm. Surprisingly low amount of like dramas and stuff like that, though, compared to like what comes out like from Korea in terms of like, I mean, not that the stuff that comes out of Korea is like necessarily dramas.
It's mostly like horror stuff as well.
Yeah,
because that translates a lot better than drama. Because like drama is different. Mm-hmm. Like there's different cultural values, and so like there's different like
Yeah,
there's similarities obviously,
and yet there's also, some. And I mean, I guess again, not that Your Name is necessarily like a drama, but like I guess something that like, and I know you haven't seen Your Name, so this is kind of probably partially lost on you, but like stuff like that coming over here, like I guess it's. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what my point is, but I guess what I've noticed is that like the space of anime is much bigger than I thought it was. Like from what I was exposed to. Like because what I was initially exposed to is like Cowboy Bebop, Gundam,
yeah,
Trigun,
for sure.
And like like there's
a lot of anime.
Yeah, it's basically like Crunchyroll like is now become like Netflix because it's like, okay, well, what do we want to watch? It's like, oh, I want to watch something with action. Okay, we can find that. Do you want to watch something with like drama and sad? It's like, okay, we watch it. We can watch something. It's a comedy. It's like, okay, we've got that. It's like it's the space. Like I feel like it's much easier to find animated stuff coming out of Japan that like fits nearly any genre and any subject matter.
Yes, there is definitely more of a culture of animation than like over here.
Yeah,
for sure.
I guess that's my point. So
you're right about that. Yeah. But I don't want to like. It's not like a universal thing in Japan, right? Like it's still a sub. Like
don't isn't I
guess most people like. I think the thing that's actually popular over there is light novels.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Isn't manga fairly popular?
It's books.
Okay. Well, is manga?
So, like,
does manga not count as? And I am horribly unfamiliar when it comes to like manga and like light novels and stuff in Japan.
So a light novel is just a book.
Okay.
Like that's what it's like, you know, it's like Pulp Fiction, right? Mm-hmm. It's like it's shitty literature. Like,
Okay.
It's on purpose, like not like high literature or whatever.
Is it drawn?
No, that's the point. It's like light novels are books. Like they are just books.
They are just books. Okay.
They are just books. And then a lot of light novels like get advertised with a manga adaptation to like bring in like younger readers or people who are just interested in manga. In the same way that like
a manga
a
manga or an anime adaptation.
Yeah, or both. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Depending on how popular the light novel is, right?
Oh,
if the light novel is really, really popular, then you get both.
Okay, so you do actually mean a manga adaptation. Like that actually is a thing that happens. A book becomes a manga.
Sure.
Oh, that's hilarious. So a book becomes a shorter book with pictures.
Yeah. Overlord. Overlord was originally a light novel that got adapted to a manga that got adapted to an anime.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I've read the light novel, and it's terrible. The fact that it's translated by like people doing it for free doesn't help, but it's also just bad.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, like I knew that
in the same way that like a B movie is bad, to be clear, like in a fun way, but like bad.
Because I knew that manga, like, often, like, they would make an anime to sell them. I mean, like, I've learned that very much from all of the animes that just abruptly end that I watch, where it's just like, oh, this was just an advertisement for the manga.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, but I wanted more of this. And they're like, nah, we already sold enough manga. We don't care anymore.
Yeah. And that's my understanding. I could be wrong. But, like, my understanding is that light novels are, like, the big thing. And then everything else kind of stems from that.
I guess that wouldn't really surprise me. Because, yeah, I think a lot of the, like, there's a bunch of the animes that we've watched that were, like, light novel adaptations. And I was unaware that there was a difference between a light novel and a manga. So today I learned, you know.
That was not clear to me as well for a long time. I thought they were the same thing, too. Yeah. It's an easy mistake to make because it doesn't make it's like light novel. Oh, that must be something different. It's like no, it just means Pulp Fiction.
I just assumed that it was like a longer manga.
Yeah.
But I will
what
say,
what standouts have you seen? Yeah, I'm curious.
Well, I was going to mention because you know we were just talking about Bus-kun. I watched Konosuba. I don't know if you've ever.
Of course.
Yeah.
I can't. It's a little too comedy satire. I don't know. I've never been able to get into it properly, but I mean, I've heard good things. Obviously,
you've only read the manga, right?
No. I've tried to watch the anime.
Oh, you've tried to watch the anime. Okay, I found the anime very funny because it's just like it's just so like it's very on the nose with the entire thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
I always just lose interest after a few. I don't know why.
They're so short. It's like 13 episodes or what. I mean, I don't remember exactly how long Konosuba was, but it's just like, it's like most of the animes, it's like a one core anime is like what, 13 episodes most of the time. So it's like, you blast through that in 2 days and you're on to the next thing. But the thing we're actually watching right now, which is just absolutely 100% an advertisement, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless, is Isekai Izakaya. Yeah.
Is that one of the chibi ones?
No. It's literally, I'm pretty sure that it's just an advertisement for various restaurants around Japan. But the concept.
Oh, interesting.
The concept is that it's it's an izakaya. You're familiar with an izakaya?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a bar. It's like
well,
it's more like
yes,
it's more
I
like
am now.
It's more like a pub.
Yeah.
And then it's got food, right? And that's kind of the point. But so it's an izakaya that opens up into another world because it's an izakaya.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and the episodes, they're like 14 minutes. Like 10 of those minutes are the actual anime, and then like the rest of it is like a live action thing where either a guy cooks dishes from the show or another guy goes to various izakayas around Tokyo and eats food that is similar to the food on the show.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
It's
that's dangerous. That's a dangerous show.
It is 100% literally just Japanese food porn. Like that's all it is. It's like you're just literally like, oh, I'm looking at delicious food. They're like, ooh, today we're making these delicious the plot is barely there. The plot is just window dressing for them to show incredible food animations.
It's just let me get you hungry.
Yeah.
The anime.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. I recently, I guess 3 months ago, because my 3-month subscription is I switched it over. But so I got a subscription to Boxu, which is a Japanese snack box subscription.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so basically, because there's two really big ones, right? There's Japan Crate, think it's Japan Crate. I think it's Japan. It might be something else, but I think it's Japan Crate and Boxu. And like Japan Crate, I think is like more like candy, you know, whereas Boxu is like it's got like mochi and stuff like that, you know, like more like it's got sweet and savory, and like it's not just candy. And oh, dude, it's so fantastic. You get a box every month. It's got like all these delicious Japanese snacks, and it always comes with a tea. So I've been very much enjoying that.
Yeah. I wish we were getting money for this speech you're giving.
I know, right? Boxu, if you want to sponsor us, you know, we're here, you know, come on. Link in the description. No. This is all for
the begging cup is out.
Yeah, I know, right? This is all free advertising just because free advertising for Crunchyroll, free advertising for Boxu.
Yeah.
I just like things, I guess.
I mean, you're really giving Boxu the ticket here.
I really am.
Like, I almost want to get a Boxu now. I'm not going to because I have self-control, but
I know, but I mean, like, what if you just didn't have self-control? Just get a 3-month subscription and try it, you know?
See, I bought a pound of Reese's Pieces on Amazon once.
Yeah.
So that's what happens, and I gained like 10 pounds, and so just like never again.
Well, see, the thing is though, like, I mean, like, you know, I mean, it's got like a small bit of each thing. It's like you get like 2 or 3 of each thing, so it's not like, you know, you're not getting like a suitcase.
It's
full
opening the doors.
Yeah, and it's mostly just to like stem my cravings for like things from Japan that like I can't get here. Although that being said, I just discovered a restaurant, like a good Japanese restaurant by us. Their sushi, very good, but they also have like Japanese fried chicken, and they have takoyaki. So I'm like, fucking hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Wow, that's like a real place.
It's like a real place. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I have to order from there more often because they're fantastic. As much as I enjoy making takoyaki at home, sometimes I don't want to like bust out the pan and like make dashi stock and all that stuff. So, you know, nice to know that I could just purchase it for money instead of my own effort.
Yeah, that's nice. It's always nice when you can do that.
I will mention I did watch Trigun in its entirety.
Oh, and the movie?
I haven't watched the movie yet. It's queued up.
Good.
I know the movie's good. I'm gonna watch the movie. I just like have it queued up. But yeah, watch Trigun. Yes. Trigun was great. Actually, I'm gonna controversial opinion. Here it comes. I think Trigun is the better Cowboy Bebop. There, I said it.
Oh, wow. That is controversial.
I enjoyed Trigun start to finish more than I enjoyed Cowboy Bebop start to finish. I think there might be episodes of Cowboy Bebop I enjoyed more, but as an anime, I feel like Trigun it has a very kind of similar vibe, and that like, you know, they're like oftentimes they're like, you know, in like it has that Western feel, I guess, you know, like
Trigun is just a more fun anime than Cowboy Bebop, and I don't think that's a controversial opinion.
I don't think that's a controversial opinion, although I will say that, like, you know, it does have its sad points.
Yeah, sure, but it's you know, it's front loaded as a comedy, and then it like hits you with which is a lot more typical, whereas like Cowboy Bebop obviously is more like consistent, I guess, in tone than Trigun is.
More consistent in tone, less consistent in quality of episodes.
Yeah, but it also has its inconsistencies. I mean, I'm not saying Cowboy Bebop's perfect either.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should, I mean, you know, you should read the manga for Trigun too.
Is it good?
Well, because Trigun has a very different ending in the manga.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah. It actually has a resolution.
Yeah, because I mean,
like,
it definitely just kind of ends.
Yeah, it's thematically the same. Like, it's thematically the ending is the same, ultimately. But, like, the way it gets there is a lot more, like, it, like, explains, like, the universe a little more, and, like, I mean, you probably will never read it, right?
I mean, I've read a little bit of the wiki, so I'm already sort of familiar with, like, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever, I mean, like, you know, it's not that I'm against, like, comic books and manga in general. It's just, like, I of the media that I consume, reading just is very rare for me. Like, I'm still in the middle of finishing like the Dune series. So like,
I mean, that's a pretty heavy. I mean, I haven't even attempted to lift that series.
Yeah, I have 2 books left, and
oh yeah, you're into the shit.
Yeah, I am very much into the, like, okay, if you're gonna read these last 2 books, you're really committed, like,
Yeah, you are committed.
yeah. So I've got the 2 books. They're ready to read. I just need to like read them. But I mean, I read all the rest of them and I like Dune a lot. So I by the way, I do think like genuinely you should read the first book. Like you should just sit down and read it because I think.
Oh no, I know I would like the whole series. I just don't want to I literally don't want to have to do it.
Yeah, you don't want that albatross on you.
It's like, yeah, it's like reading paralysis is real, and Dune is a heavy fucking task to undertake. I still have the last in the Half-Life series by W.M. Simmons waiting, and those are trashy short pulp novels, and I still haven't read the last one that I have.
Yeah, fair enough.
God, putting Dune on the list. Ugh.
Well, see,
I'm trying to reread Wheel of Time in time for the TV show, and that's hard enough.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. Well,
yeah.
And that's also why I think you would like Dune, because Dune definitely leans more heavily on the fantasy elements than it does on the sci-fi elements. So I think that you would.
I would love it.
Oh, you'd love Dune.
Yeah.
Which is yeah. If there's, but for me, it was kind of like one of those things. Is I'm not going to read a lot of long, heavy book series. That's just. It's just not my shtick. It's not that I don't like reading. It's just that I'm one of those people that I don't read very quickly, and I'm one of I feel like I stop paying attention halfway through a sentence and will go back and reread the sentence to be like, okay, wait, what's this?
Oh, yes, that's your mistake. You got to just keep going.
Yeah, I can't. My bad reading comprehension combined with my OCD just paralyzes me, and just I was like, no, I have to read this sentence. I have to actually get this sentence inside of my brain. So so it takes me a long time to read books, right? And if I'm not in the right mood, I just got to put it away because I'm too distracted. My brain won't think about it, and I won't actually read the book, So I mean, the last long book series that I read, and long is a serious overstatement in this case, was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's pretty light.
Yeah, I mean, none of the books are in particular very long, but there are 5 of them, I guess. I think there are 5 of them. So 5 ones that you should actually pay attention to.
Yes.
So, I read that, and that was oh man, I had read 5 books. Holy shit. So, but with Dune, each one of the books is as long as the whole fucking series.
Yeah, and they're dense as all heck.
Yeah, and whereas Douglas Adams is one of those things where he's very easy to read, Frank Herbert is definitely
yeah.
The man does not make it, easy to just skim through, He's he packs a lot of punch in.
Yeah, he wants you to be paying attention to
everything. He wants you to be paying attention. And I don't know, the way that he writes is it's hard to describe. If you read it, you'd know what I was talking about, but I'm having trouble because it's been a while since I have actually read the books. I'm having trouble putting my finger on exactly what it's like to read those books, but there's a lot of repetition, which I think the movie will benefit from, because the repetition is really just trying to drive home the the things that are happening that you can't physically see, whereas the movie can just show those things. So we'll have to see how that goes. But then what else has been going on? I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. I've been seeing you've been really plowing through it. You've even got some of the DLC done.
I think, yeah, I've got a lot of it. Actually, there's one DLC.
You got Privislavitz done. That's very impressive.
Dude, here's the thing with Privislavitz, right?
Oh, you're playing on softcore though, right?
I am playing on softcore.
Okay, then it's less impressive, yeah.
Yeah, but once you get started on Privislavitz, once you get it to positive income, which you need about I think you need about 20K to get it to positive income. If you build just the buildings that will get it to positive income, do a couple bandit camps, do a couple Cuman camps, sell all their armor, and you're fucking good to go. So, I don't know if we want to...
in softcore, yeah.
In softcore, yeah. I am aware that, things sell for less.
Way less.
Way less.
And everything costs way more.
Yeah.
But we can talk... do we want to just start talking about...
No, I don't know. Well, so are you gonna finish Disco Elysium?
No, I was going to say, that might have been spoilers for our discussion, but no, I've played what I will play of it, and I've watched the rest of the game.
What? Oh, no. Why? All right, we got to talk about this a little bit. We got to talk about this.
I was never gonna play the rest of the game, so I just that was
How come? How come you just didn't like it?
It just doesn't. There's nothing. It doesn't really grab me. I like in the most like top level sense. I just never felt compelled to continue like playing the game.
Wow.
Essentially.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Man.
Yeah. I got to the second day and like to the part with what's it called, the Hardy Boys. And like I tried to arrest him and he killed me, and I was just like I got that end screen right, and I was like, yep, that's about where I feel like I got to. Like that feels right. Like,
you gotta play. You gotta like. You have to go and do other stuff. Like you gotta fuck off and like explore the world for a while. That's the whole thing. It's like the whole game is fucking off and doing other things and like getting absorbed in the world. Oh man, it's so disappointing.
I don't like. I never felt like I don't really like having to like listen for 10 minutes.
See, this is why
I talk to somebody.
This is why I didn't want you to play that version. I wanted you to just play the version where like you just read the text, because it like.
Well, no, I mean I just skipped through the dialogue. I mean that wasn't a problem. It didn't prevent me. But then I had to read it, and I just like it's a lot of just like talking to people.
Yeah, that's the whole game. It's just talking to people.
It's like I can't. That's not enough game for me. I much prefer to like. I don't want to have to play that. Essentially, man. Like if it's just going to be talking to people, then I can just listen to someone else do that.
Oh Jesus! Oh man!
Yeah, I haven't like seen the whole game or anything. I just kind of skipped around and like got an idea. But yeah, I wasn't really.
Wow, that's so disappointing. That's so disappointing. Oh man, it's such a good. The story is so good though. Yeah, I mean it is just a talking game, but I thought that you were aware of that going in, that it literally all it is just talking and skill checks. That's the whole.
Yeah, well, so the problem is just like I don't care about the whole game is the story of the game.
The whole game is the story of the game,
and I don't care about the guy being murdered or.
But that doesn't even matter. That's not the story.
And it's like the Pale is interesting.
Well, that's the whole. I mean, like that's a lot of the story. It's the Pale, and
but
also.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
It's like the Lost. It's like Lost. It's like the whole game is teasing you about the Pale, but actual interaction with the Pale or knowledge about the Pale is actually a very tiny part of the game ultimately. And it's like if the game was the Pale, right? I'm in. But the game is like it's about a bunch of people who live near the Pale, and it turns out I don't actually really care about any of those people. I just care about the Pale. And so it's just like the game is kind of lost on me in a way because of that. Like it's focusing on the part that I'm not interested in very like directly. Do you disagree with that? Like,
no, I don't disagree with that. It just makes me sad. That's all, Steven.
Yeah, well, it's not a failing in the game. I think the game is very good. I just am not interested in the story it's telling me.
But like, there's so much world building in that game. Like I thought
there's so much characterization.
There's a lot of world building too. If you actually like get there and like listen to all the people and like listen to what's going on, there's a ton of world building. Like in terms of like the socioeconomics of what's going on and like what's going on in the larger world, like
I mean it's East Germany.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I get it. Like I'm not impressed, I guess,
geez.
by it being East Germany. Like if it was actually East Germany, that would be interesting. But like they've done a lot of work to create East Germany in a really awesome setting that I don't get to play with.
But then you also get like all the wacky hijinks as well, like.
Yeah, no, like, yeah. But like none of those wacky hijinks involve like combat scenarios really, or like gameplay. It's like I know it's like it's a really good game, and it's like I feel like I'm like I have a personal failing for not liking it almost. So it's like, yeah, it's really good.
Look, I won't say it. You said it.
Detailed. No, I said it. Like I mean it. It's just like it's detailed, and it's like they've clearly put a lot of work into the setting, and like it's wonderfully voice acted, and the characters are all like Kim is amazing. That conversation with him on the balcony where you like have a cigarette with him.
Oh,
Like,
man.
amazing. So great. But like none of it compelled me to continue playing at any point. It was like, yeah, this is cool, but like,
So you liked Kim as a character at least?
yeah, no, yeah. I like
that's
yeah, he was great.
That's like, to me, like, see, that's like your relationship with Kim through the story, like, is part of like the huge draw of like just like over time, like when he starts to like, you know, think that you're actually like a pretty good cop, you know, like despite your outrageously ridiculous failings as a human being and as a police officer, like him like warming up to you over the course of the story is like, I'm just like, oh, this is so good. This whole thing is so good. And like, and then like learning like the background of the main character and how you got there and why you are the way that you are, like that whole thing is just like that's the story. The mystery is, who the fuck are you and why are you doing all of this, you know, and why are you like this? It's like everything else is secondary, you know?
It's too little spread over too much of time. It's like the game is asking me to create a character for 40 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like, which is really cool, but like I do that in 5 minutes. And like, you know, that means like I'm a very surface level person, I guess, in that way. It's like I kind of just am like, yep, this is the way it is, and then I'm good. So I don't need the 40 hours to like, I don't need every little nuance to be like explained to me. Like, I don't know. It's like,
well,
I'm just, yeah.
The thing is, it's not just that. It's you can kind of you explain some of what your character is like now, right? But then there's also the uncovering what your character was, you know?
Sure. And like, I love the like game systems that are at play, right? Like the fact that like your brain kind of like responds to you and like you have like thoughts that come to you like unbidden, just like in real life. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. And the replayability of that is like I'm going to replay Disco Elysium again with different skills for the third time because that system is so interesting. Because you get depending on what skills you pick, you get a completely different picture of the world than you did if you pick other skills. Because like if you pick a bunch of skills that are like super, like I guess what skills did you like focus on?
I went for like savoir-faire and intelligence, or like dexterity and intelligence, essentially.
Yeah. Like if you put a bunch of points into things like conceptualization and stuff, you get a lot more of like the pale and stuff like that, because that's like what your like if you do encyclopedia, your brain just tells you facts about the world, you know? It's like, this happened here on this date. Whereas like if you get things like Inland Empire and conceptualization, you get completely different things, like, you know, and like it just changes. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. Like, it changes. I mean, for everybody else out there, maybe if not for you, then for anyone listening. But
I mean, I've seen probably like 20% of the game.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're definitely not going to finish it.
No. So I think, I mean, this might be like a case of Dark Souls where like I come back to it at a certain point and like get into it.
Yeah. I mean, you do
like I can see that, like, you know, the game systems are interesting at play, but it's just a lot of like minutia, when like the way I like to play these games is the exact opposite. I like to, like, you know, I hate to say it again, but like this is like a side quest game to me. It's just like, yeah, there's a murder, and like I go and I talk to like 3 people who summarize the same information I get from talking to 30 people in this game, and I you know, there's a combat encounter with the mercenary company, and then I find the guy, and it's done in an hour, and then I go do something else. And it's like Disco Elysium zooms in, and it's like, no, you're going to like immerse yourself in this perfectly crafted world, and you're going to get to know all of these people intimately, and we've crafted them, and so they're like realistic characters who have like subtle, interesting feelings. And it's like, wow, that's all really impressive. And my God, I hope other games like ape on these systems, and I start seeing stuff like this in other games. But this game is lost on me. It's too much stuff that's like, I like the plot. I like plot. And it's just like, I'm sorry, but there's very little plot in Disco Elysium, ultimately. There's a lot of character stuff. And I know that is plot, but like it's not what I mean by plot.
Well, because you're thinking the plot is the investigation.
Well, no. It is that for me. That's what I'm saying.
But it isn't. That's the thing. It's like you have to put that away in your mind. Like the investigation.
But that's not how I play video games. Like, I'm sorry, but like you're asking me to do something that's impossible. Like, I'm sorry, but like that is the plot. Like, it's the hook. It's the narrative hook to like get you into like exploring the world. But I explore the world through plot elements, and like there's too much like I don't know. It's like I don't know. I need to think of a better way to say it, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's because you're focused on like even though the murder is presented as like the main quest, it's not the main quest. Like the main quest is getting your shit together. Like that's the main quest of the game. The murder is the side quest. And the murder basically solves itself if you talk to enough people. Like it doesn't actually like you don't have to put really much work into solving the murder. Like you almost stumble across solving the murder, and everything else is like the real main quest. And that's what it's. I mean, it's subversive. I mean, that's what. And I guess what I'm most surprised about though is because like you have expressed in previous podcasts that what you really latch onto is like the meta, right? You know, like It's not the characters and it's not the thing that's happening. It's like the broader implications, right?
Yes.
And this game is just like it's so the broader implications.
But it's just like you get to like stare in wonderment at how perfectly crafted this world is, and I don't get to like fuck it up.
Oh,
like I want to like get my hands in there and like. It's like, you know, there's a part where, like, you get to tell the boat lady about everything that's happening, and she, like, is like, okay, like, I'm gonna go back and, like, get a bunch of soldiers, and we're gonna come back here. And it's like, I want to be one of those soldiers. I don't want to be the guy who tells the person in charge. I want to be the guy in charge. Like, I want to, like, take control. I don't know. It's just, like, it's too much. I'm too much of a bit player in, like, a larger world. Like, I'm a very small cog.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to be the big cog. I guess. And it's like that's like, you know, I like B movies. Like I don't like, you know what I mean? Like I know it's very nuanced and impressive. And I might come back to it and like play a brute character and like have a lot of fun. And 6 months from now I'll have a very different conversation.
Okay. All right.
But right now it's like cool. Like let me fuck up your like painting. Like it's a very nice painting, but like let me smear some poop on it. And, like, then I'll be happy. And it doesn't let me smear poop on it. So, I don't know.
Okay.
It's like, I should be able to punch everybody. Like, I don't actually think that, but, like, that's the kind of thing I'm saying.
Yeah, it's you want it to be like a Western RPG, and it just isn't.
Yeah, it's not. It's not that. It's a light novel. It's a visual novel. And it's like, the fact that I can walk around in it is cool, but that doesn't change the fact that it's just a visual, like, it, and no, like, to be fair, the gameplay systems do like elevate it, and I do hope Western RPGs copy those character development systems. But I just hope they also have combat encounters still, and like I can throw fireballs.
Oh, jeez.
Right. Oh, also,
go ahead.
There's also I wanted to say one more thing. Is I have played this game. I've played that version of this game already. I've played the version of Disco Elysium that I want to play, and it's Planescape Torment.
Yeah, I know.
And so it's just like I've done this. I've solved a really interesting murder, but it was my murder because I'm an immortal. Like,
it's the lighter version of the character development, that is very but plus combat.
Yeah, and there is a character development system in that game that's like Disco Elysium's. Like, and there is like your character's personality does kind of get in the way of your own stuff. It's just much lighter, and like you can throw fireballs. So it was just like, I know that I would like that version because I beat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. It's like I really wanted to beat it because I was like, no, I'll just push through it, and like because like I feel bad about not finishing 2 games in a row for essentially the same reason. But I can't be dishonest about my feelings toward it. Yeah. It's like I don't care. Okay. It's like it felt like I was playing the game for 30 hours, even though I only played it for 6.
Oh, God.
It's like, I can't do that to myself.
Did you like the music?
I don't remember the music.
Oh, no.
I didn't play enough, probably.
Oh, okay. Fine. All right, I give up. I give up. I give up. God damn it.
Yeah, sorry, it's very hard to recommend things to me.
Yeah, because you hate fun.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love fun. I hate.
Yeah, no,
I hate
actually,
not
that's the
being
problem.
Allowed to have the lowest common denominator of fun.
Yeah. You actually hate not having fun. That's
Exactly,
that's the actual problem.
Disco Elysium is too serious of a video game for me.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm sorry, but that is video games are like a fun entertainment medium for me, not like a exploratory, philosophical, political medium.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's just how I'm built. So wait, before we move on from Disco Elysium.
Yes.
Right? So one of my problems with the game is like there was a lot of like the politics stuff, which I was not super interested in. Are you telling me if I did a different build, I would be constantly inundated with the Pale and like cryptid stuff and all that?
You can get way more into cryptid stuff. And
Way more into.
Okay, here's the thing. The story itself will not change. So whatever
I mean, yeah, sure.
Whatever happens in the story will happen. But I guess so if you're not interested in the political stuff, I guess it just depends on what you want to experience about the world. And if the answer is nothing, then there's nothing that I could do to help you. But
I want to like venture into the Pale and like discover new species. And I know you can discover one new species in the game, but like you can't make that the whole game. It's not like there's not like hidden encrypted encounters everywhere or anything, right?
No. You can just view the world through a different lens, you know.
I would love a Disco Elysium 2 where the spotlight is in a different place on the world, but the place they put it yeah. Okay, I just wanted to make double sure that I wasn't like just being completely stupid about it.
No, there's like if. The skills that I think are the most interesting are things like Inland Empire and Shivers, because Shivers like gives you a lot of like information about the city itself, but like in a different, it's just like a very poetic and very interesting way. I don't know. I just like reading what they've written. I think that it's very the
writing is amazing.
Well, and that's the thing is like. It's a book. The game is a book, and it's a very interesting book. And if you are interested in the story of the book, you can read what it's great about the game is you can read it in many different ways because you can change your skills and get a book about the same thing from a different perspective. That is what Disco Elysium is. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on from Disco Elysium because. I can't contain my disappointment any longer.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you this about Kingdom Come because I am deep into that game now. I am at last count 64 hours into the game.
Nice.
Nice. I could talk about Kingdom Come right now. Is part of the thing you want to talk about the story of the game in its entirety, or is it only the mechanics?
The story. I mean, this is maybe a little spoilers, but the story's not done from the game. There's supposed to be another game, and I think it's a third one. I think it's supposed to be a trilogy. So
okay,
there's nothing really to talk about with the story as far as I'm concerned.
So really, all you care about is the mechanics.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, as always.
64 hours into the game, I think that I've experienced the entirety of the mechanics of the game.
Yes, I think you're almost 100% correct on that.
Yeah, unless I have missed something horribly, I have done everything that the game can do, and I'm now just doing the side quests and the story within those mechanics. So here is what I will say about Kingdom Come, and Jesus Christ, this is going to be a long podcast. I might actually cut out some of the stuff in the beginning in favor of this, since we talk about bullshit anime all the time. But so we'll see what happens. But this game, to me, is a modern day Morrowind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it in one.
Yeah, and when I say that, I mean that in the best way and also in the worst way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Then I think we're in complete agreement. All right, just Kingdom Come. Wrap it up. I think we've got it.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good conversation. Yeah, you might want to keep that stuff in at the start, actually.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to keep the stuff in. Yeah, no, but that is okay. So I think that you saw the exact same.
The world is designed the same. The combat is janky in a very different way, but in kind of the same way. Let me give my cliff notes on this. Then I think that
in the best way, the game does really make you rely on like actual like directions and getting places. Like you do get, quest markers, but only when those things would be obvious, Otherwise you get general areas. And sometimes you don't get fucking shit at all. You're just like, they're just like, go find it. And in the worst way, I think sometimes that works really well and sometimes that's really poorly done. Like and maybe I'm just stupid, but like, I feel like sometimes like I don't give the game enough credit. And if I just ask around with like the townspeople and stuff, like a lot of times I can actually get where I'm going by just like talking to people and like looking at things. But then there's other times when like I look at where I was supposed to go and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I was in that area, but you were asking me to find like this tiny little spot in this gigantic area. And like the one that really sticks out to me is the bird quest from the hunter and Ratai. Like he's like, go find the birds, right? And you'll hear them by their songs. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds reasonable. And so I wander around and I found like the first bird pretty quick. And then I found like the second bird after some wandering. Then the third bird, I like literally was making concentric circles around the area. And I was like, are you fucking like, and then when I found out where I was literally like 5 feet from there. And I needed to literally be in the exact location. And I'm like, oh, okay. So sometimes this game is just bullshit.
Yes. No, 100%. Sometimes the game is just bullshit. Yeah, I won't. Yeah, it's. I actually had the exact same problem on the playthrough I did simultaneously with you, with the third bird. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's like that's shit. Like that's not a way to do that.
Yeah,
so
the game has flaws. I'm not like.
Yes.
It has some flaws.
Yes,
for sure.
I will. Yeah, they clearly love this game. Like. They love the source material, and they love like they love
history.
Yeah, history. Yeah, well, source material being history. Yes, they clearly love this, and they put a shit ton of heart into it, and it shows, and it's what has kept me in the game. But like, the fucking horse chase at the beginning of the game. Is horse shit, is what it is. Like, you informed Steven and I talked about this a little bit on Discord offline, but like, you have to pick the right horse, otherwise it's near impossible to do, apparently. Like, there's a fast and a slow horse.
I'm pretty sure there's a fast and a slow horse. It's not like a huge difference.
Yeah, well,
but like in that scenario, it does matter.
Yeah, it's just like, and so. I will say, like hand on heart, like I am cheating in the sense that I am using a save mod so that I'm able to save wherever I want. And I don't feel the slightest bit bad about that because there have been multiple times where the game would have just broken at a certain point and I would have had to go back like hours, like, if I wasn't able to like just save whenever I want. Cause it's like, like the checkpoint system is not generous. Like savior schnapps, I'm sure that like, I could just make them, but I also feel less bad about it because you can just exit the game to save, right? So
yeah, and
go ahead.
Savior schnapps are not limited in any way, and they don't like cost you like nourishment or anything, and like they make you very minorly drunk.
Okay,
and so like. Saving wherever you want is essentially fine because the game lets you do that anyway.
Yeah, like if I really wanted to cheese it, I could save and exit the game and then just come back and just reload the game. And it would be annoying, but I could just do that forever. Like, there's really nothing stopping me. So
it's not, I don't think it adds a lot ultimately if you skip that particular mechanic. Like, for instance, I just buy repair kits and I never use the whetstones to repair my weapons, right? I just don't interact with that mechanic. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, the game has so many mechanics that just don't interact with the ones you don't like. So, yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah, okay. So I do not feel bad about doing that. Many people have done the same thing, and so I'm cool with that.
It's fine, yeah.
I also, by the way, I just pay for repairs. They're so cheap.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And you have the money for it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, at this point in the game, like, I mean, I'm Henry the fucking liege lord. Like, I'm just like, oh, Hanish of Lipa, like, how about I buy your castle because I have more money than you. It's like, oh, you have some fancy clothes? I've got fucking, I could buy out the tailor. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm the guy. I've got several sets of plate armor. Like,
Oh my god, yeah.
Because I have almost all the Warhorse armor, and then I have all of the Lords of Lipa set.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you've done all of the
Yeah.
Oh, how was fighting Peter the Black after the tournament?
Oh, that was. Here's the thing. It's really funny. I was fast traveling, and I kept fast traveling through that bridge and skipping that encounter, not realizing what it was. And for the longest time, I was like, it's like you've encountered a foe. It's like, why? What's happening here? And then finally one time I just rode through that section and he was there and I was like, oh, and then I hit him in the head with a mace and he died.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
So I will say, the fighting in this game, I have mixed feelings about. I think that sometimes it's too realistic and sometimes it's not realistic enough. Mm-hmm. And here's what I'll say about. So I do like the fact that I can use my very light historical knowledge to say, oh, maces are just the weapon. Swords may as well be made out of popsicle sticks. Yeah. It's like exactly. A fucking pool noodle. It's like bing, bing, bing. Whereas you hit somebody twice with a mace, even if they block,
they crumble.
Even if they block you, it's like mace, mace.
Yeah.
But that
is also that is softcore to a certain extent as well.
I'm sure it is. Although that being,
but no, it is like that even in hardcore. Yeah, it's great
because I'm sure that in hardcore the Master Strike is even more OP than it is.
Yeah, hardcore is just everyone's harder and you die faster and everything's and there's no mini map for you to there's no map markers anywhere.
Yeah,
and there's no compass directions.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, and I just I don't have the emotional I just can't deal with a game like that. I don't want to put up with something that's that difficult, Yeah.
Whereas that is that's my favorite in exactly the same way that is my favorite thing ever.
For somebody who ostensibly likes fun, that sounds like the least fun amount of things.
Yeah, but it is fun. It's fun to interact perfectly with the game's mechanics in such a way that you're still a god despite the fact that the game is trying to constantly drag you into the mud.
Well, okay.
And there's nope, I'm still a fucking god. I'm just gonna bonk everyone on the head with my mace.
And I will say, that is the thing that it does Morrowind in the best way, right?
Yes.
Because you do genuinely feel like a shit ass turned into just the absolute fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
The
power curve is amazing.
Although speaking of the Terminator, because you have not played the A Woman's Lot DLC, right?
Mm-mm.
You should play through that because that one is a lot of fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun. But so I kind of by accident started that one because I was talking to Teresa really early on, and then it was just oh, you're in the DLC. I was like, oh, okay, this is probably going to be some short little thing, and it ended up being fucking 15 hours or something.
Oh my god,
I don't remember. I don't remember exactly how long. It was I think it's the longest DLC out of all of them.
Oh, okay, yeah, I definitely should check that out.
Yeah,
I thought it was a very short thing.
No, and you should play it. But I'll just say, at the point where I was with Henry, right, where he was just a weak little babby,
yeah,
Teresa's the fucking Terminator. It's the T-1000 just going through and just I had killed more humans as Teresa than I had killed anyone as Henry up to that point.
Oh my god!
Because during the section post the humans showing up and pre the end of her DLC, there are humans around and she comes out of the box with she has a dagger and she has the stealth kill ability.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
So as long as you're one-on-one. And she can also shoot arrows.
Oh, yeah, so she's OP.
Yeah. So she's just absolutely I was just going around killing people with arrows and stabbing them in the neck, and I was just oh, okay. So Teresa is just a stone cold killer.
You're the Predator.
Yeah, I was the Predator. It's the humans were oh god, there's this fucking girl out here and she's just murdering everybody. I'm so scared.
I mean, humans should be scared. They're weak little motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, now it's humans. I'm just humans, mace. But here's the thing I will say about the combat system, though, that bothers me a little bit, is there is a concept, in sword fighting and, like HEMA, right? Because like I've watched like some videos on HEMA, and like I'm like vaguely familiar with like historical European martial arts, you know, like sword fighting,
Sure.
etc. There's a concept of being in or out of measure, right? Like basically, like, does your weapon reach the other person? If so, they are within measure. If your weapon doesn't reach the other person, they're not.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know there was a term for it.
Yeah, so the term is being within measure. And what I found is that there is no way to extend that circle in that I've been able to find in Kingdom Come. And the game that does this really well is one you've played, which is Blade and Sorcery in VR, right? In Blade and Sorcery in VR, if you have a sword and you stick that sword in front of you and point it at the other person's face, they won't come any closer than the tip of that sword.
Yeah.
Because the AI is smart enough to know, oh, that's danger. I should not die. And what the problem with Kingdom Come is that makes it very hard to, like, do anything other than just counter people. Because what I can't do is I can't just deny somebody an area. They'll just run right up to me and attack. Like I can't just keep people at bay. They will just always clinch me or they will attack me. And
the AI is needlessly suicidal.
Yeah, needlessly suicidal. And the corollary to that is I have no way to make that danger an actual danger. Like if somebody comes within distance of us, like if somebody has like a mace, which is shorter than a sword, and they come within my sword distance, I can't punish them for that. So it basically means that, like, swords are useless because the only benefit to a sword is that it's longer than a mace, so I can at least keep people at bay with it. But I can't just stick the sword out in front of me and say, don't come near me, you know? Like, that's not an option. So I find that aspect of the combat not realistic enough. That, like, there is no ability to really, like, zone people out, which is something that, like, especially if you're fighting multiple people at once, is something that you would do. You would keep the sword in front of you and between them and you, such that they wouldn't come close enough to you that they could just attack. You know, I do appreciate the fact that they do try to flank you. You know, they do try to come at you from two different directions, which again is good and realistic. So I like that. But I do. I find that they do not treat the weapons as being dangerous murder objects, and they're just like, oh, okay, that's a pool noodle. I'm just going to come and attack you at full force.
Yeah. I never thought about it in those terms, but I think you're 100% right. Like they are just like always trying to press their body up against yours, essentially.
Yeah. And that's frustrating. I mean, so yeah, that aspect of the combat, kind of. And then the other thing is, I like the alchemy system. I think that, like, I wish more games pick that up. It's a little bit tedious because you do actually have to, like, do it, but, like, it's so it feels so satisfying when you make a potion. You're like, oh, I made this thing, you know? It's like I do.
It's great.
Yeah. So I guess
they do a great job of, like, allowing you to, like, interact physically with game mechanics.
Yes. The game has a tremendous, I mean, like, even the fast travel, it's got a tremendous amount of physicality to it. It's like, when you fast travel, you go places, you know? Like, you are actually traveling through that area. If there are things in the way, you have to deal with them. You can avoid them if you've got high enough skills, but, like, they're still there. They're still a thing, you know?
Yes. Yeah, it is. The fast travel system is great.
Yeah. I did find that, at least on softcore, yes, you can basically trivialize the game, like, fairly quickly. Like, if you kind of min-max, you can really trivialize the game pretty quickly. But that's also part of what I like, you know? Like, that's what I liked about Morrowind.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I like becoming a plate tank man. Yeah. That's the appeal of the game.
Yeah. So, like, you know, I don't think it's a worse game for it. I think that there's some people that are that's probably why hardcore exists, and probably why you like hardcore so much, because being able to trivialize the mechanics, as you said, after the game absolutely tries to murder you, like yeah.
Let me put it this way: on my most recent hardcore playthrough, you know how you have to sneak into the camp, the first camp, Privoslavitz?
Yeah,
I did not sneak. I just killed everybody, and the game gave me a cutscene I'd never seen before.
Oh,
for that.
That's cool.
I think you can get it without killing everybody, but it was like, I was like, oh wait, I'm actually getting. I've never actually been up here before. That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was not expecting that, but yeah, I killed everybody. I just, like, It was great.
Was it a cutscene with Runt?
Yeah. It's at the top, and he's like punishing some kid. He kills them.
Okay,
Like
I didn't get that cutscene either. Because I didn't kill everybody at the camp because I just wasn't strong enough at that point.
Well, you don't have to. You can just like sneak in theoretically.
Yeah, so I've heard. So I never got that cutscene, but I guess you could get poison from his tent or something to poison all of the. Whereas I just bought poison. But anyway, okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. I always bring poison with me.
Yeah. So like I guess I definitely wasn't enjoying it at first. Like I was kind of like this game, but I was like, I bet it gets better, and I'm glad I stuck with it because it is. I mean, obviously, I played 64 hours of it. I clearly enjoy the game. Yes. So yeah.
Yeah. How much did you interact with the stealth mechanics?
A little bit. I mean, I still occasionally stealth a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. About as much as I do.
I mean, pretty much the only times I stealth anymore is like if I want to like pickpocket somebody, which I don't do very often.
You go farther than I do. I never even pickpocket people.
I've pickpocketed a few people if I know they have dice on them. Gotta get that dice, man. Gotta get those dice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love the dice game.
Gotta get that dice. I have been lockpicking. Like literally just lockpicking things and then leaving them alone because I just need to level up my lockpicking skill.
Yep.
Because
it takes so long.
Well, because the last fucking chest in the like treasures DLC is got like a very hard lock on it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just like also, by the way, those treasures DLCs, like I mean, I guess because they are like supposed to be hidden, like they are supposed to be hard to find, but like one of those chests, like literally the directions, there's no way I would have ever found it like on the map. Like
which one?
I think it's like the third one or something. It's like east of a camp, like east of a woodcutter's camp in the middle of the forest. And the way the directions are like look on the map, it makes it look like it's pretty close to the woodcutter's camp, whereas it's like fucking halfway across the map from the woodcutter's camp. It's like, how was I supposed to fucking find this? Like, are you serious with this? Whereas some of them are really good. Like the last one that's like, like the one with the hard chest, like the directions for that like are super vague, but like if you really study the map, like you can find it, except for I found the general location, but like the actual exact location, again, needle in a fucking haystack. And like it's a huge forest. Like there's no way I would have found it. So it's like, so I am equal parts like appreciative and frustrated by that.
Yeah. And like you haven't even mentioned stuff like, getting teleported up to the top of a rock during combat or like randomly getting knocked off your horse. And I'm not talking about when you get knocked off your horse on purpose, because I know that happens.
Yeah.
But sometimes it happens at random.
Yeah, I know. Actually, that's been happening to me a lot more recently. I don't know why it's happening. Like, I'll just get on my horse and I'll just immediately be like on the ground, and I'm just like,
that I never experienced that before either. That must be a new bug. I mean, the game is fucking janky as all hell.
Oh yeah, and I am also throwing a tremendous amount of hardware at it, and yet in Retai, I still get like 40 FPS, like at best. Like
you get the same performance I do on my fucking 980.
Yeah. When I go out into the world, I'm getting like 100 plus FPS, and this is on max graphics. This is like sliders is balls to the walls. Like this is like because I refuse to play it on any other like level of quality. There's a 3090 inside of this computer. If I am not allowed to play this at the full graphics, then I refuse to play the game. So I have. Everything is slided up to the max, but Retai is just impossible. And I think it is literally just a game code issue, because like I look at my performance graphs on my CPU and my GPU, and it's not maxing either of those out.
Yeah, no, it's badly optimized.
Yeah, it just like literally just does not run any faster than that.
Yep, correct. It's just bad.
Yeah, it's like we could have some kind of like crazy alien future tech, and it would still be like, yeah, but I'm still getting 40 FPS in Retai. Like it's just like, okay. So yeah. So like in summary, I mean I'm gonna finish the game. I'm still playing through it, but like yes, I do enjoy it. I think it definitely brings me back to the days of Morrowind, both in the frustrating sense and also in the rewarding sense, which is a nice feeling. I wish somebody could do it in a way that wasn't frustrating, but like I do really appreciate, because like I think a lot of the
frustration is necessary.
But I think a lot of the frustrating elements are a result of bad game design.
Yeah,
but
exactly. But that's part of like the je ne sais, like the zest of the experience is like, not only are you overcoming intended game mechanics, but you're also overcoming unintended game mechanics. It's like, that's how much you're like destroying the game.
God.
It feels good. It feels good to conquer it.
Jesus.
But yeah, it's like, it also had like the sense of immersion, like walking through mud puddles, like actually like splashes mud on you. Like you get dirtier doing that.
Oh yeah.
Like all of those little touches are just like so good.
No, it is 100% a labor of love game, and I do genuinely appreciate it for that sense. I just wish that, you know, somebody would create a fan patch that fixes all the performance issues. But
oh my god, well, give it like 10 years, maybe we'll get it.
Yeah, there you go.
What'd you think of the story though? I mean, I don't know where you are now, but so far
I am like pretty soon after the whole pestilence thing. I think I just I think I just got through I'm in the middle of the counterfeiting part of it.
Okay, yeah. Great. Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah. I mean, it's entertaining, you know, and like the side quests are all entertaining for the most part. Like I'm enjoying the story of the game. I think I can say genuinely I am enjoying the story of the game. But yeah.
Yeah, the priest.
Yeah, that was a funny one. I actually reloaded my save on that one because I wanted to do the sermon properly.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah. That's. Oh.
And that's the other thing is like you know, there's two approaches to role playing, right? There is the approach to role playing of I am going to take what happens and like the true D&D role playing where it's like I roll the dice, I fuck up, that's just what happened. We're not going to redo that. And I like that role playing and that sense of danger of like, you know, at any time things could go wrong. But for this game, I am very much I'm role playing in the sense of I want to choose what the outcomes are going to be. And if the outcomes are not what I want, I'm going to go back and redo those outcomes.
Yes. No. Yeah. 100%.
And, you know, it's just a different way of doing things. And, you know, it's the save scummy way, but like, you know, that's what I want to do for this. I want to be the most ridiculously badass Henry that I can be. So that's my goal.
Yeah, there's real D&D. If you want to like accept the consequences of your actions.
Yes.
You know? Video games are for having fun.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is like, and that's also why I chose not to engage with the save system as it's set out, is because like for something like Dark Souls, right? The saving mechanic in Dark Souls, which is to say the constant saving, is integrated with the gameplay. Like it is a part of the experience in a way that it is not with Kingdom Come. Like, with Kingdom Come, the
game has autosaves. Like
the game has, yeah. I mean, because in Dark Souls, dying is not the end. Dying is just you go back into the game with less shit. You know, in Kingdom Come, when you die, you might just have to go back several hours.
Yeah,
and that's not acceptable to me. That's not.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, that's not a save system that's integrated with if you're gonna have like that kind of a save system. I need to be able to continue the game after death. I don't want to just have to redo shit. So it's save systems like that I am less inclined to interact with. Whereas something like Dark Souls, it makes sense to me because the dying part is part of it. Like you are gaining like personal experience with having seen the thing that's up ahead, and you have to now defeat that, you know? Like, and every time you die to it, you are practicing. Whereas with this, it's like, oh, my opponent got lucky and stabbed me in the face, and now I have to go back for 3 hours. It's like, no, fuck that. I'm not playing that game. Like that's.
And you're also playing like the updated version of the game. The save system was even more brutal at release.
Oh yeah, you couldn't even exit save.
Yeah, there was no save and exit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I refuse to interact with a system like that because it's not integrated well enough into the game to be appropriate for me. It can be done, obviously, since plenty of people do it. I'm not willing to put in that kind of effort and, you know, put those stakes on the line for this game. I'm just not, you know?
No, I like the game because of the way it handles its like combat curve.
Yes.
It's really like when you get right down to it, like, yeah, I like the story and the characters, but like it's the feeling of how you grow as like a knight.
Yes.
That like Yes.
Yes,
that's
the
perfect.
progression of the game is very good.
Yeah, and it's like it's not even really it's a consequence of the game mechanics, but like the game mechanics in a way do hold that experience back to some degree, like because of the way the combat is. Just
Yeah, it is
bad, like broken. It's broken. You just have to master strike everything.
You do.
essentially.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the Retai tournament. It's literally just stand there and master strike. Because if you
When
try
you
anything
try
else,
and
you'll
hit
just
me.
get killed.
Yeah. Now I will say on my most recent hardcore playthrough, I've put 200 hours into the game at this point. I am at the point where I can I can attack confidently. Like I don't rely on just master strikes. But for most other playthroughs, that is how I fought.
The thing is,
and when I'm fighting multiple people, it is master strikes.
yeah. Well, actually, it's funny for me when I'm fighting multiple people. Like sometimes I don't have time to just master strike.
No, well, yeah, you got to be aggressive.
Yeah, you got to be a little
gotta
bit.
be
Yes,
aggressive.
but I mean, you just get the ceremonial mace and the Scallop shield. Which, oh, by the way, you don't have the Scallop shield because you haven't done the Women's Lot DLC. You get the Scallop shield for it, which is a good shield. Scallop shield.
Is it better than a boost shield?
It probably isn't, but like early in the game, like if you like pretty much right after the prologue, if you go talk to Teresa, you can get the Scallop shield immediately after doing her DLC, and then you just have a really good shield, like for like
That's cool.
most of the game. So and then
That's useful.
then you go get the Warhorse helmet, and your head's protected, and you're good to go.
Yeah,
Which,
and
by
then
the
you're
way,
pretty good.
I'm so used to like a visor now. Like at first, I was like, oh fuck, how am I going to play this game with a visor on?
Yeah, but now it's like, why don't other games do this?
Yeah, I'm like, this doesn't bother me at all. Like, I barely notice when I have the visor on. I'm like, this is barely a hindrance because all I'm doing is master strike, master strike, master strike.
It's almost like real people actually used them and they were functional.
Yeah, right?
Crazy, I know. It's ridiculous. That is my favorite part, other than the combat, that is something I enjoy, is like the first time I walked into the mill, right?
Yeah.
And I like realized it was like actually a working mill.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, oh, wow, like all of the gearing is actually here.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, the physicality of the game is incredible. Like, everything is done, Like, it makes sense and it's done appropriately. And
Have you...
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you like gone to Google Maps and like looked at like satellite images of that area?
Of course I have, Steven.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, it's like, oh look, there's Brete. It's actually there.
Yeah,
it looks the same even.
Yeah, I've looked up all the cities. I'm like, oh, where is this city? How does this city look? Yeah. It's super interesting. It's super interesting. Yeah, it's like I look at Rete and I'm like, oh, that is what Rete looks like, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like you think like if you look up Sir Radzig, like that's true.
Interesting.
Like and like Henry existed and like like it's crazy.
Oh, that is
how
interesting.
detailed it is. Yeah, I didn't realize that like these are like I thought the characters were somewhat fictional, but they're not even like they're totally
No, most of the characters are real, like that I looked up.
they're all real as far as I can tell, except probably Runt and stuff, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I guess yeah, you're right. Who knows?
Who knows?
Also, have you seen a picture of the voice actor for Henry?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, you got to go look up the voice actor for Henry real quick. Yeah, Kingdom Come actor. Here we go. Henry Kingdom Come actor. Tom McKay.
Yeah.
Just like look at his face for a second.
Oh, yeah, it's Henry.
It's literally Henry.
Yeah, so they just used his face.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It is. It's so funny. It's like, yeah, he actually looks like that. And like he smiles like Henry smiles.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
It's the same. It's literally Henry.
They must have mocapped him or something.
Oh, for sure.
Mocapped him, or I mean, certainly modeled him on it. Maybe even maybe mocapped.
Yeah, they were very exacting for sure. But yeah, no, I'm glad you immediately recognized that it was Morrowind because that's essentially what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's very clear that that's what you like about it, and it's what I like about it. Is that it is recapturing in almost all of the senses Morrowind, both good and bad.
Yes. It's like playing Morrowind again for the first time.
Yeah, it's like being transported back to like the early 2000s or late 90s, wherever Morrowind came out.
Yeah.
When did Morrowind come out? Was it early? It had to have been early 2000s, right? I was in high school.
No, it was. It was like 2002 or 2003.
Yeah, because it had to have been when I was in high school.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, 2002. That makes sense. Yeah. Because I remember like sitting in the cafeteria reading about this game, like on like GamePro.
GamePro, yeah.
Yeah. So, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. We're like so far into this episode and we haven't talked about the main topic yet.
Wait, what's the main topic?
Oh, are we just not going to talk about it? Were we going to talk about
what?
Were we going to talk about the Coen Brothers?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, jeez.
I honestly just thought this was going to be Disco Elysium Kingdom Come Deliverance podcast.
No, we were going to talk about the Coen Brothers. I mean,
we were going to talk about the Coen Brothers.
We could do that another time.
Yeah, I actually forgot that was the topic. I'll be honest, so I'm not prepared at all. I mean, I'm glad to do it, but
no, we could.
I haven't thought about it.
We could do it another time if you want.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
So I was just like, yeah, we're both playing 2 games that we both like.
Well, we're playing. Yeah, we're playing 2 games that I like, and 1 game that you like, and another game you don't like.
I didn't like playing it this time. I don't know if I can say I didn't like the game. I just didn't like playing it.
I really.
And that could change. That could change later on. I'm not. There's plenty of games that I've
gone back to.
I mean, Baldur's Gate. I got to Baldur's Gate in Baldur's Gate, and I gave up for a year, and then I came back, and Baldur's Gate's one of my favorite games.
Fair enough.
It's very possible I come back to it, but it didn't grab me on this playthrough.
I mean, I do imagine it is.
But I can recognize how good it is. I want to make that clear that it's clearly very good. Just didn't grab me this time.
I'm sure you also saw just talking about games that I need you to play. In the Discord. That
you'll notice I didn't respond.
Oh, I know that you didn't respond to us.
I was just like, how do I respond to this?
I was like,
yeah.
The Mother 3 fan patch has been updated. Maybe you should.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and just I'm studiously not looking at you.
Oh God.
Sky's looking real nice today.
What is preventing? Just out of curiosity, what is preventing you from playing it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really want to
because I'm just surprised. That's all. I'm so surprised because it's like, I mean, I think we both share Earthbound as an important game that we played.
Yes, for sure, and I love Earthbound.
And I'm just,
I don't even, I would never even want to go back and play Earthbound. And I just I don't know, playing through a long JRPG. It's not something I want to do anymore, and I don't want to be I want to love it if I'm gonna play it. So I don't want to be in a place where I'm playing it out of obligation.
That is very understandable.
I want to I want to be excited to dive into it. And it's just it's been built up at this point that it's I just have to forget about it.
I mean,
and I'm sorry.
I guess what I would say is you should just save scum your way through it because the JRPG part is obviously not the best part of it.
I will never let a game I will never let someone putting a game mechanic that I don't like in a game prevent me from playing a game I'm really interested in.
Yeah,
don't you worry about that.
Because I mean, the JRPG part is I guess I will say 2 things. Right, first of all, I did save scum a tiny bit. I limited myself to if I found a hot spring, where I could replenish my health, I would save at that point as well, because I guess the emulator, because I mean you can only play it emulated, unfortunately. It's just a reality of the situation.
That's whatever. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, the emulated version, you couldn't actually save natively in the emulator. You had to physically click save.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, I mean maybe I was just using it. I mean,
you definitely can save with an emulator.
It was
sure, whatever.
I mean, the one I don't know if the one I was using was good, and I played it so long ago. I'm sure emulators have become better.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah.
So you couldn't actually physically save in it. You had to save by clicking save, and so I limited myself to, of course, telephones obviously, but then also hot springs. I would save at hot springs because they, there was enough there's hot springs around the game, and of course they replenish your health. So I was like, okay, I will save every time I have that full health from the hot springs. That was the only kind of bullshitty way that I did it. But if you saved a ton, I feel like the game, the actual annoying JRPG part of it would be pretty trivial. The other thing is if you grind just a little bit, anytime you are not killing things, it becomes 10 minutes of grinding gets you to the point where it's okay, cool, I can now progress for another 10 hours.
I'm not worried about the game being too hard or anything.
Yeah, it's just annoying in the JRPG sense, that all JRPGs are, where it's at a certain point you're just ugh, these enemies are getting too strong. So speaking of other things that annoy the shit out of you when I ask, I think I will ask this for the last time, but I just want to know: is there any way I could convince you to watch Log?
Oh no, I mean I do. I mean, it's not that I don't want to watch Log.
It's just that it's 110 episodes of a TV show from the early 90s, maybe even late 80s.
I've gotten into this really bad habit of doing 2 things at once. where I'm like, because I have two screens now. I like playing a video game and watching a movie, or maybe I'll watch a movie while like I like to watch movies with like other people now and like joke about the movie while I'm watching it. I don't know. Maybe I've gotten like lazy.
You've gotten soft, Steven. That's what you've gotten.
I've gone soft. I have. I've gone very soft. And so it's just like, I don't. It's like an anime requires me to sit there and like pay attention to subtitles. And I guess there's probably a dub version I could watch, and maybe I should just do that. Maybe I should just find the dub version and watch that.
If it's any good, I mean, I did not. I mean, I obviously.
It won't matter to me if it is anyway. I'll be fine with it. I should, because it's not that I don't want to watch Log. I do. It interests me. It's a giant space epic. I love those.
Because Lauren hasn't seen Log, and I still have it. I would watch Log again. I mean, it's it would take up few weeks because it's 110 episodes. So
yeah, exactly. It's like One Piece is kind of interesting, but I don't want to watch 700 episodes.
Well, yeah. I mean, oh god, like Lauren, like,
and that's like
a few months ago, Lauren watched like. I mean, she didn't start a few months ago. She finished a few months ago. She watched all of Naruto.
Oh God, yeah.
Which is like again, it's like something like 500 episodes or something. Like she's like, oh Naruto, like I like Naruto. Should we watch that? And I'm just like, I looked at the amount of episodes and I'm like, you can just watch that on your own. I'm like, I'm not watching 500 episodes of a shonen anime. Like, just pass. You can do whatever you want. But Log, like, I don't know, because it's like one of the. I mean, it's Star Wars, the anime. In 1988.
Yeah, no, I mean, and like I've seen like maybe 3 episodes of it, and they were all great, and like I should just continue watching it, but it just hasn't happened.
Fair enough.
I've gotten my attention span has gotten too short. I blame Reddit.
Fair enough. So we're at a crossroads now, Steven. Should we save the Coen Brothers for another time, or do you want to record it? And I could always just cut the Coen Brothers part, do it first, and then have this as the next episode. I
just don't. I spend a lot of time thinking about what I'm going to say generally before a podcast, just so I have some like ideas. I have nothing in my brain.
Okay, that's fair enough. Then I don't want
to. If you want to carry it, I'll be glad.
No, I don't want to do it if you're not ready to do it. So okay, then I will just say, okay, sorry everybody, we didn't do the Coen Brothers. Something else came up.
Whatever. We can record the Coen Brothers in like a couple weeks, and you just edit it first.
Yeah, I might just do that.
We might trick you guys. You might never hear this.
Yeah, that's true. Or I'll leave this in, and you'll be really, really confused when the episodes come out of order. But
yeah, that's probably the best option, right?
Okay. Well, so yeah, surprise video game podcast. Here it is. Yeah. Or not a surprise, depending on the order that these episodes come out. Yeah. So basically, if you heard the Coen Brothers episode before this episode, you know that I did some time travel fuckery.
Yeah. And if not, next time for sure.
Yeah, next time
don't
for sure.
Forget again.
I won't let you forget again. Next time I will remind you before we start that we are actually going to talk about the Coen Brothers.
Yeah. I was just like, oh no, we're clearly just going to talk about Disco Elysium and Kingdom Come.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Like I shouldn't have brought it up because I was like, I know there's a big discussion here and we're already like 30 minutes into this episode, but then you just like, you had a lot to say and I was just like, well, fuck it. I guess we're just going to do
Yeah, because I was prepared. Actually, I've been thinking about it for the last week.
Oh man. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I won't lie, Steven. I've been like, stalking your Disco Elysium.
No, I knew. I was like, oh man, should I I know he's gonna know I haven't played it.
Yeah, like every so often I go into Disco Elysium. I'm like, oh, friends that play. I'm like, oh, Steven. Oh wow, hours. Still at 6.1 hours, is he? Yeah, it seems like he's really still at 6.1 hours.
I am. I'm gonna be there for a long time.
Oh god damn it. All right. Yeah. Well, I think this is the end of the podcast. See you guys later.
Yeah. Peace.